So none of you. Well, you're a CPA, you should know. Back late last year, the AICPA put out what was called their CPA Horizons 2025 report. The front page looks like this. The big word integrity is right on the front. And what the AICPA is doing here, and this is actually not on my PowerPoint, this is a report about what the AICPA says the profession is going to look like in 2025. And as you might guess, it looks a lot different than what the profession looks like today. But it's very consistent thematically with what Tony's been talking about for the last day and a half. And if nobody's read it, I would suggest you might want to read it at some point, because it's actually really, really interesting stuff. 5,600 CPAs got interviewed, but here's the thing that really amused me. They also said that the 5,600 CPAs that were interviewed contributed 6,000 hours to the cause. And I'm like, you just can't get away from timesheets, can you? The main point they made is CPAs, to build a network, need to embrace technology, and they need to stay connected to their referral network through their technology, through things like LinkedIn and Facebook and by email. And so I wrote a blog about that, because I said that's ridiculous. First of all, CPAs should not be doing referrals. They should have a network, which means partnering with people. That's different than referring. And secondly, to the extent that you're trying to stay in touch with these people, technology isn't the way to do it. It's face-to-face. You can't build trust through internet connections. You can only build trust face-to-face with people by spending time with them. So I wrote this blog, right? And I thought, well, nobody's going to notice my little blog. I get an email from Mark Koziel. Does anybody know who Mark Koziel is? Mark Koziel is the vice president of the AICPA. And guess who was in charge of the CPA Horizon 2025 report initiative? It was Mark Koziel. And he wrote me a nice email, but it was a little bit pointed, because he didn't agree with everything I said. But we had a really good discussion, because I'm not about people thinking like me. I just want people to think with me. And so Mark actually agreed with some of my points. He felt that he was somewhat disappointed with some of the conclusions in the report, because he felt that it didn't give CPAs enough guidance about how do you move from being what you are today to being a firm of the future. But I just want to read like these are the 10 initiatives. Number one is CPAs are a worldwide profession, okay? So we have to be able to position ourselves in the accounting world so that we can serve clients globally. I mean, I would agree with that. I work with, like I said, I was actually on the phone with an actuary in Rome this morning. Another one is, and some of this stuff I thought was sort of trite, we need to encourage pride in the profession, okay? Encourage pride among CPAs in the CPA profession and the value CPAs create throughout society. I mean, I agree, but then I said, well, if we want to do that, what about tax season? What about people filling out timesheets? What about, totally, completely repetitive, mind-numbing work that you have your staff doing? It's hard to create pride in the profession. Pre-certification and lifelong learning. Obviously, I think we all agree with that. We have to evolve our educational framework to keep it consistent with how fast technology is moving, how fast the times are moving, the fact that we're becoming global, all of these things. Technology, understand and leverage relevant technology in conjunction with core CPA competencies to deliver superior services. I mean, that's great. CPAs need to embrace technology. Actually, the comment that I made that Mark Koziel objected to is I said the AICPA might have been better off interviewing 5,600 clients of CPAs. And he thought that was sort of sarcastic. But I always talk about, what do your clients want? We all know what they need, right? They need tax returns, they need financial statements, they need living trusts, okay? What about what they want? Do you ever ask them what they actually want? You'd be really surprised at some of the answers you get. What else? Leading up to the trusted advisor concept, AICPA says we should position ourselves as the trusted attester, which means, our attest function, independence, objectivity, integrity, all of these core values that make the CPA title so valuable and so meaningful. CPAs have to become much better at what we call real-time accounting, doing somebody's financial statement as of December 31st in May, because you're so busy during tax season, doesn't really provide much value because everything is so old and cold. So real-time accounting. And then what they call the continual evaluation of information. In other words, when you render the attest function and information, you'll do that at the end of the year, and next year you'll do it 12 months later. For example, what steps are auditors doing for companies during the year to make sure that things don't go haywire during the year, that people don't catch until it's much, much too late to recognize these deficiencies in internal control or what have you. So it's certainly a real-time environment. The marketplace. Address continual changes in the marketplace, economy, business, and regulations. This is where I say ask your customers or your clients what they want instead of talking about what they need. They have one called value proposition. Increase the visibility of the profession's value by demonstrating the profession's core values in multiple areas of business and society. Yes, I agree. To me, that's thought leadership. CPAs need to get out in front of crowds and speak. They need to blog. They need to write articles. They need to do podcasts. They have to tell the world what CPAs can do. Demographic shifts, yes, and that sort of goes along with global. I'm getting to the best one. Market permissions. Leverage the strengths of the profession to expand market permissions. In other words, what else are CPAs doing besides tax returns and financial statements? I just mentioned that. My question there is always, what differentiates you in the CPA marketplace? I mean, how does a consumer tell your CPA firm apart from any other CPA firm? And here's the last one, and this is the best, the trusted advisor. Okay, promote the CPA as the trusted advisor who, in addition to providing core CPA services, develops solutions to complex problems by integrating knowledge, expertise, and resources from multiple disciplines. Bingo. Okay, turn in your card, you win the prize. That's exactly what Tony's been talking about here for a day and a half. Okay, how do CPAs do that? Okay, and the answer is not referrals. Trust me, it's not referrals. That was the whole point of the blog that I did that attracted so much attention from Mark Koziel, the vice president of the ICPA, from Ron Baker, the best-selling author in the CPA industry's history. Okay, how do we actually earn the moniker of most trusted advisor as opposed to just being granted the moniker of the most trusted advisor? Okay. If you go to my thought leadership website, iymoney.com, if you go back through the history of stuff that we've done, the whole report, the link is there. But if you can't find it, just shoot me an email and I'll send you the link. It's fascinating reading.